Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to the... On this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review Transformers Issue 12. The live-action Transformers Bumblebee movie has been nominated for a Saturn Award, and Transformers Cyberverse Power of the Spark Episodes 1 and 2 are available on the YouTubes. Today is Friday, September 20th, 2019, and this is episode 147 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's now featuring the all-new triple host system. It kinda works. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello. How are you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Think differently. Let's talk Transformers.
See, that would have been better than your original suggestion.
Shut up, Jeremy. Stupid Apple.
We're back for another week of Transformers goodness. We're not talking about Apple announcements. Go to another podcast for all your Apple news.
Okay, so because you said that, do I have to disclose that I have Apple stock in a retirement account?
I mean, you don't have to. I don't think there's a conflict of interest.
Okay, then I won't.
All right. Well, as always, we start off by thanking our donatrons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. You guys are awesome. We really appreciate you continuing to support us. I forgot to put it in the show notes, but a friend of the show, recent donatron, he kind of came in, then had to leave, but now he's come back. So thanks again to Will Griffin, who has rejoined the Patreon family. So, Will, you're awesome. Thanks for continuing to support us and listen. And we are always appreciative.
Welcome back, Will.
And if you would like to become a donatron and you're not already, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. And there you'll find links to sign up on Patreon or PayPal. If you don't want to make that long-term commitment, you still can support us by buying some merchandise from our TeePublic store, and that's at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. And we've got lots of cool t-shirt designs there, as well as links to other shirts. And if you buy any TeePublic shirt from our storefront, that gives us a little bonus. You can also check out a friend of the show, K-Girl, and her store at teepublic.com/user/superstark. She's helped us out with lots of art in the past, and she also has a lot of cool designs on her store.
And I'll be showing this in trips to the store, but I have to say, TeePublic's hoodies, very, very comfortable. So if you need a comfortable hoodie, they're great.
Yeah, very true. I did get I got the Transmissions U hoodie last year, and that was very nice. One more thing about our TeePublic store. TeePublic has actually got a site-wide sale going on this week. So from today, September 18th until September 22nd, you can get 35% off everything at TeePublic. So if you go through our link, transmissionspodcast.com/shop, everything at our link will be 35% off from today until Sunday. So right now is the perfect time to go pick up a Transmissions shirt or other merchandise. And this applies to everything at TeePublic and every TeePublic storefront. So you can go through our store, you can go through K-Girl's store, everywhere you can get this discount. So it's very nice. TeePublic does this about every month. So, just check them out. And K-Girl is going to be at TFCon DC this fall in just about a month and a half now. So I think she's going to have some stuff to sell, some art prints, and she is selling those tote bags. I don't know if she's still going to have some available, but hit her up online and check her out. You can reach her at her Twitter handle, which escapes me, but I'll put it in the show notes, so you'll have a link to it.
You missed one.
All right. Also, we want to continue to remind you about the Transmissions 6th anniversary contest. go to transmissionspodcast.com/6years and there fill out that survey form and you can enter our contest. Give us a memorable moment you think of when you remember our, from something you really enjoyed the last 6 years of the show. And the winner will be randomly selected from all the entries. And this is going to go until TFCon weekend. So until the end of October 27th. And then we will pick a winner. The grand prize winner will receive the Respect the Prime Decepticon Purple Vinyl LP, a Respect the Prime Constructed Cold EP CD, and one Transmissions t-shirt of their choosing. And then we'll have several runners up who will win Respect the Prime Constructed Cold EP CD. So lots of cool prizes. And those are all, produced by our good friend Jimmers at Distortion Productions. Of course, the vinyl was donated generously by Jeremy. So thanks, Jeremy.
Yep.
All right. Before we start to get into all the toy news, I do also want to remind you that Empire of Rust episode 6 is out this week. It should have already showed up in your feed if you subscribe to the main Transmissions feed. So this is The Lost End of the Road is the title of this episode. This is a good, this is an action-packed episode. So Daryl, you'll appreciate this because it's a big battle. Lots of bots fighting and shooting each other. So definitely
fantastic.
Check that out. And by shooting and fighting, I mean rolling lots of dice and taking damage and checking those points against their hit points and seeing if they got hurt.
But are there sound effects of shooting? And
there
stuff?
are, because Mike is an awesome audio engineer and editor.
Then Daryl should be happy.
I'd be very happy.
Yeah, so check that out. Empire of Rust episode 6. And that's at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. All right. Well, let's talk about the toy news this week.
All right. No big surprise here. We're going to start off the toy news with the same way we've done for the last few weeks. Talking about HasLab Unicron Watch. All right, and here we are. It is currently 21 days, 2 hours, 22 minutes until the end of the crowdfund for HasLab's Unicron. And we had some interesting stuff go on this week, so we're going to talk about that in a bit. But where we're standing right now as far as backers, 5,667. We're a measly 9 people above where we were. So it's not a real big jump. But Jeremy and Charles, you guys were talking to me about it before we started recording.
Hold up, Daryl. I think your math is off there. At least looks to me it's 11.
Oh,
is that Canadian math?
Sorry, it is. It's 11. I apologize.
If you do the currency conversion,
right? Yes, it's 11. We're up 11 from last week. Does the 2 make that much of a difference? I don't think so. But I'm going to throw to you now, and you're going to tell me about the shenanigans that went on this week with the backers. So, who noticed it? Jeremy or Charles? Which one of you noticed it this week?
I think we both
we both noticed it.
Fantastic. One of you take it.
Okay, I'll mention it. So, I am invested in this project now since I am a backer. So, I'm looking to hopefully see the numbers creep up a little bit They're not going as fast as I'd like. So I'm still hopeful that we've got those, online store orders maybe coming in at the last minute. But right now, the backers numbers have slowed down, but things got a little bit worse this week because I actually saw the backer number go in reverse. So, it was actually down below what we were at last week. And it wasn't like a huge amount, but it was like, going down, I saw it get up to about 5660, but then started going backwards to like 5650 or 5640. So that's not good to see the numbers going backwards. And, this is also related to some news we're going to talk about later on because we think at least we have some speculation as to why that happened this week with, some competition that was coming into the ring that we've already talked about. And, more of that competition got a little bit heated this week. And, so that might be the reason, but they did rebound. The numbers did rebound after a little bit, and they started going back up again. But, of course, they would have been up even higher if all those people hadn't canceled, or maybe those are the same people who canceled, just remade their orders after the event we're about to talk about happened. So,
yeah, I mean, that's my speculation is that, some number of people canceled, and then after, some other events, they resubscribed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously it's not the best trend, and I still think, because like any Kickstarter type thing, if you do an extension and people have more time to think, there's not the rush to need to commit to the money right away. So that explains probably most of the slowness.
Sure.
And the last week it's going to pick up again. It just doesn't have enough momentum to get over the 8,000.
Yeah. Well, you've also got that extension will allow people to kind of reconsider, right?
Yeah.
And, that reconsider may come in the form of, hey, I need that money for, my mortgage, my rent, I might need groceries at some point during the month. And yeah, so that reconsider may come in a lot of different forms. So yeah, I can see the numbers kind of bouncing around a bit for the next week or two. But yeah, one thing before we continue on into the kind of craziness that this week entailed.
The controversy.
Sure. With regards to kind of I don't know, kind of a sideways kind of a project with regards to HasLab's Unicron, there was a post on Facebook from one Flint Dilley, who is known to the fandom for being a guy who's written one of the early drafts to the 86 movie. He's written a bunch of episodes. He's a very well-known writer, and he's written some comics as well. So that's really cool. But he posted on Facebook saying, "So Ron Friedman and I have agreed to do something, not saying what, because there are rights and deal issues we can't control, with the G1 Transformers and Unicron. If Unicron funds, what should it be? Story, not medium. We can't control the medium. TV, visual novelization, etc. So there's something. He wants to do something. And it's Ron Friedman and himself working together on this project, which is very interesting because those guys were the two big brains involved in the 86 movie. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely cool.
But it does seem to be hinging on the fact that Unicron funds. So
yeah, I think it all hinges on that, because he also has been throughout the weekend, he has been posting about this. Mm-hmm. And I know I saw in our live chat or live broadcast here, Derek going back and forth with saying, because there's no electronics, he's out.
Oh.
So, but it's really cool. Cause when we were talking about this before we recorded, those two don't have the best working relationship, Ron Friedman and Flint Dilley.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're guessing they've made up, and all is well if they're both willing to come together to do something like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just underneath on his main post here, he actually does kind of start talking about, buying the figure and whatnot. And he says, by the way, if you get it for investment purposes, keep the box. I made that mistake in the day, of course. I wouldn't be likely to sell the one that was on my desk. Too much sentimental attachment. So he's gone on to say that, if you're selling it, if you need the box, that's something that, we all kind of know. So yeah, he seems to be answering a lot of people's, kind of posts on here. So
he is active.
He's very active. If you want to chat with Flint Dilley, he's on Facebook. There you go. Now on to what happened this week. Seemed to happen, I guess, Friday, maybe Thursday. I'm not really sure exactly what day it happened on, but
I think around then.
Yeah. So, we've been talking in conjunction with HasLab's Unicron about Zeta Toys and their Core Star. I don't know exactly what happened, but it appears as though Hasbro sent a cease and desist order to Zeta Toys with regards to this figure, and asked the details of the cease and desist are not made public, but what we know is that Zeta Toys and all imagery and video of their Core Star is gone. It's been taken off of their Facebook page. It's been taken down from their YouTube page. If it still exists somewhere, it's because somebody has copies of it and they're putting it up somewhere else. It's not from Zeta anymore. So that's very interesting. So, this is, I'm surprised on one hand because this is one figure. How many times have we seen a Optimus Prime redone, or something been almost exactly copied? But Unicron seems to be something that they're very concerned about. The YouTube video, everyone kind of assumed that it was Hasbro doing a cease and desist. But the YouTube video is kind of what kind of sealed the deal, because there's a message displayed where the video was saying the video is no longer available due to a copyright claim by Hasbro Inc. So that kind of explains it. So I'm going to open this up for discussion right now, and I'm going to almost immediately throw it over to Jeremy because I want a legal question here, and Jeremy's our legal expert. So if Zeta Toys is a Chinese company, why would they care what an American law says? Well,
one thing is they would like to sell their products in America.
Sure.
Which means they have to follow our laws. But also, as I found in order to answer someone on Facebook about this, since I think it was 1992, China has been a signatory to basically make their copyright laws in line with the rest of the world. So, on the whole, most countries follow the same set of copyright laws. I mean, there's differences here and there. In most rational countries, there's a length to copyright law where things go into the public domain, and the United States is not one of those countries. It's 75 years after the author's death.
Thanks.
Unless you're Disney.
Thanks, Disney.
It just goes on forever. Yeah. It needs to be maybe 15 years or something. I don't know. It needs to be shorter. But anyway, on the whole, trademark and copyright law, if you have it in one country, it's generally, enforced worldwide. So that would be why Zeta Toys would care. And yeah, sure, piracy and stuff in China is rampant, but there's still, and I think more and more China is cracking down on stuff to try to be a more respected player on the world stage.
Okay. So Charles, do you think that Zeta Toys, their Unicron, was affecting the number of HasLab backers? We kind of were touching on it earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a reasonable theory. I mean, the fact that we did see, a number of cancellations, that, there could be lots of factors that could be due to, but I mean, I think a reasonable guess is that, these people were saying, oh, I prefer the Zeta Toys one, so I'm going to go and get that one. And I think the people at Hasbro looked at the numbers and said, and, that triggered them and said, hey, we take, and Hasbro generally takes a hands-off approach to third party, but,
because it generally doesn't really affect the
exactly.
bottom line.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're going to put something in direct competition with them, it's still their IP. So they're not going to just sit back and let you, eat their lunch. So, I mean, and I'm not, for me, okay, I admit I'm biased here because I did back the HasLab Unicron. So, I don't want that to fail because of the Zeta Toys one, but I don't have anything against the Zeta Toys one. So, I mean, I don't feel like there's a, it's, I guess, underhanded or dirty tricks or anything like that. I think Hasbro is going to exercise their intellectual property rights when it benefits them.
Okay.
So, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, I'm, it's unfortunate for the people who prefer the Zeta Toys one that looks like that one's not going to get made right now. But I think, after, I think 6 months or a year from now, they can put this out and probably, not have a problem. So probably they'll just wait and, name it something else or,
It's some other company that's really Zeta Toys.
Exactly. Yeah, so
that
leads into my next question is you do think that this project will actually see the light of day at some point?
I do think, I think so. I mean, the third party companies are not under any obligation to throw something away after they've designed it, and they can put it in a shelf somewhere if they think that the market is right, that they'll get enough buyers at a future date. I'm sure they can dust it off again and put it out. I think the question is, I mean, the third party market is always a niche of a niche. So the question is really, is the market there that you can actually make money off of the figure you produce?
Okay.
So we'll see if they think they can make money in the future. Maybe they'll wait for the 40th anniversary of Transformers or the 40th anniversary of the movie and,
right.
Do it then.
All right, Jeremy, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I actually posted on our Facebook page over the weekend saying we're going to be talking about this, asking what people's thoughts were. And one thing that came up, Mike Seibert said that, if Hasbro's, doing this, why don't they go after like the third party animated Optimus Primes that compete with MP44?
Sure.
But and I've seen this in many Facebook threads. This isn't Takara. I mean, those are like MP44 is a Takara product. It's not a Hasbro product.
Yeah.
So that would be up to Takara to do it. And, for as little as we've seen Hasbro do against third parties, Takara's done even less. So if Hasbro was also putting out MP44 in, their markets, I could see them doing something similar with these other ones that are out at the exact same time, trying to cut into the bottom line. At the very least, go after or go to retailers that they work with, like Big Bad Toy Store and the like, and saying, hey, if you carry these, you're not going to carry our stuff.
Yeah.
Because, that's another thing that they could do and not necessarily sue anyone, but they could just say, if you're carrying this stuff, you're not carrying our stuff. And their stuff also includes like all their Star Wars figures and everything else that Hasbro does.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that already happened, that first step, because we had yet to see a pre-order for the Core Star, and people were starting to speculate like, if this thing's supposed to come out in December, or I think they pushed it back to February, but why are we not seeing a pre-order for this thing yet? It's it looks like it's ready to go to production. Like, I'm starting to think that, maybe it's, Hasbro right away reached out to a lot of these places and said, hey, if you're going to carry this, then we're going to have problems, So perhaps that happened, we don't know. It's another speculation on our part, but that seems like a very likely first step. It seems very cheap and easy for them to do.
Yeah.
Right. But, the bottom line here is, with Zeta Toys Core Star out of the way, at least for now, does the HasLab Unicron get funded?
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge impact either way. I mean, like, we did see the numbers go down a little bit. So there, on the margins, there are some collectors who are either going to be, preferring Zeta Toys, or say, well, now since Hasbro strong-armed and canceled the one that I liked, I'm not going to buy it. But I think that's a minority. So I think if the reseller numbers, like the online stores like Big Bad Toy Store or TF Source, when those numbers come in, I mean, I think they're going to hold back till like the last day of the campaign. So the question is whether they have enough orders to add up to this total, because I don't see this number moving hugely. I mean, I think it might just naturally get up to maybe 6,000 by the end of the month. I mean, if it does more than that, if it goes up to like 6,500, I think that's more than enough. And then if you add in all the online resellers, I think they'll push it over to 8,000 total. But we're not going to see those numbers until the very last day, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hopeful, but it's still, I don't think it's settled by any means. I think it's still open whether or not this gets funded.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just checked, sites like Big Bad Toy Store are still doing their pre-orders. So I'm expecting, in the last week or two, similar things to happen that we saw happen at the end of the original date, where we'll see some big jumps. So I'm thinking if it does fund, it's going to be very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I mean, I still want the HasLab one to get funded because, Charles, you've backed it, and I want you to get what you want. So I'm behind you for that. Personally, I'm disappointed because I really liked the design of the Zeta Toys Core Star. So I was hoping to at least see it, maybe even buy it. Mm-hmm. It's definitely smaller, so it's a bit more in my size range. The price range helps, but the size is what counts for me. So personally, I was a lot more interested in Zeta Toys one than the HasLab one. But I'm of the mind that the fandom could support both. So if HasLab's needs to happen first, I'm happy with that. I do hope that the Zeta Toys one does exist eventually. I'm hoping that this is a case of just poor timing on Zeta Toys is their part. But perhaps in a couple years or so, we'll get a Zeta Toys Core Star Redux and try again. But that's all I have for this week. A nice discussion on Unicron, and we'll see what happens next week. Who knows? Who knows what'll happen next week? What do you got for us, Jeremy? I
have a recolor of a Masterpiece Optimus Primal. This is MP38. I guess MP38 is the original one. This is MP38 Plus. This is MP38, and then MP32 is the original. This is Burning Convoy. It is his entire body is red, with gold hands, a gold sword, and his head's the normal color except the earpieces and the mouth are both gold. And it's an homage to a 1988 figure also named Burning Convoy. Similar colors, but less, the head was looks like all gray in the original one. The hands were still gold, but this is very unique, very interesting. I was not expecting to see it, but it definitely looks better than the original. I will say that. If you want a semi-transparent red Optimus Primal, this is for you. I don't know. I have the original. I'm happy with the original. Something about this one with it being the semi-translucent and you're able to see all the screws and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's not really doing it for me. Charles, do you remember the original one? And do you think that this would interest you if you weren't buying Unicron?
Nah. I mean, I don't even know what was this in the anime or something? I don't remember what this came from.
I think this was, let's see, I just have the wiki page
Beast
open.
Wars Neo or something.
It was to promote the Beast Wars special movie, which I have not seen. Maybe I don't know. It looks like he made a special guest appearance in there, but maybe this was just a repaint because the art for that is showing his regular colors.
He wasn't on fire for the whole time in the cartoon.
No. But, Japan likes to do their recolor repaints.
Right.
This is probably just one of those.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a pretty poor excuse for a recolor. I mean, I know they need to do mold reuse because they got to recoup their design costs, but I don't know. This feels like there's not a lot of nostalgia for the bright red Optimus Primal. I mean, I haven't gone in on any of the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures. So, I mean, if I was going to get an Optimus Primal, I would get the regular colors one. I wouldn't I wouldn't try to get a variant like this. So yeah, definitely not for me. Also the head coloring doesn't look all that great to me. It looks, it just looks very plasticky, I guess. I don't know. Compared to like, trying to, I always expect the Masterpiece looks to like the deco to be a little bit more,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the regular one is a little bit darker blue than this. It does seem a little bit cheap.
But yeah, I guess for fans of Burning Convoy, enjoy.
Yeah.
But this is what, $112? So, yeah, definitely not for me.
Which isn't a bad price for the mold itself.
Yeah.
But Daryl,
Yes.
how about you? Do you remember the original one?
No.
No.
This is dumb. I can understand them trying to get repaints, and I can't imagine there's going to be a big audience for this outside of Japan, I guess, because it was a Japanese only movie. So, but I don't know. The mold needs to repaint potential. So I mean, seeing that they're doing this with Optimus Prime or Primal, then I can see the more ridiculous repaint potential for like Beast Wars Megatron. Like they had that red one. I can't remember what that one was for, but like the red version of him, and then there was even a couple other versions as well that came out. But if they're going to do this for Optimus Primal, then there's potential for like ridiculous repaints of all the other Beast Wars characters as well. So that's the biggest concern when it comes to making a Beast Wars character is what's the repaint potential. And
yeah, we talked about that when these were first announced.
Exactly. So I didn't see this coming. I never imagined they'd put him all in red translucent plastic and say he's this one guy from this one thing, and buy him. He's $112. So
with the regular head, it kind of looks like he's wearing like footy pajamas because it kind of covers him completely.
Yeah, I don't know. This is. I hope that who's ever really into this gets one. If there's a big fan base out there for that movie, then fantastic. Make sure that you target this towards them. It's just, I find it odd.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we've seen like the Shadow Panther Cheetor remake, and that mold I think lends itself to more remakes and remolds because
tons.
You can make a Tigatron out of it. Just changing a few pieces.
You just repaint the eyes and do it a couple different times.
Yeah, so it's just with Optimus Primal, what are you going to do other than just color them different colors? Anyway, that is all I got this week. Charles, what do you have?
All right. Well, turning again to third party, where we've got a figure that's coming hot on the heels of an existing Hasbro figure. So we've got Transform and Roll Out. They are putting out a TR-02 Commander of Stars, which is a Cybertron Optimus Prime. So we've seen the gray prototype figures already, but now we've got color renders of this figure. And this is, coming right behind where we just had the Galaxy Optimus Prime come out in the War for Cybertron Siege line. I've seen that on store shelves and passed right by because I had no interest in Galaxy Optimus Prime, but he's out there if you have a fondness for Transformers Cybertron. This and he's got I guess he's got very nice wingspan. Like it's much bigger than the official version. Cause I guess the proportions are a little bit different, but, since these are renders, it's, a little bit, it's not the real figure, but it does look pretty good. And I guess they're going more whole hog onto the Cybertron or Galaxy Force, style and not really, doing any, making it more detailed and updating it. So I guess if you're interested in Galaxy Force or Cybertron, this guy's here for you. Daryl, any interest in this figure?
No. I'm also avoiding the Siege one as well. The Cybertron and Galaxy Force versions. The original versions are the ones that I have still, and I think they're all still superior. This guy, I mean, he looks good, and this is that Transform and Roll Out. This is that company that made the Jazz that we were all kind of cuckoo for. It looked really good, and then never came out, and then finally just kind of showed up. So this being their second figure, I would hazard caution. So, if you're interested in this, kind of maybe wait and see if it actually shows up, or pre-order it through a company that, you can get your money back or don't have to put in any money before. So, yeah, but it looks fun. The tires appear like they might be rubber, which is always good. But I like the way that it kind of looks. He's, they've given Optimus Prime a waist, which is, it's not something you generally see on these figures. So that's always nice. The front of the vehicle mode, I don't really like the whole, it's the super flat, not very interesting looking bumper. It's just,
that's a very plain bumper.
Very plain. Everything else has got a whole bunch of detail on it, and then the bumper is just nothing. So, maybe they meant to put something there or are still putting something there. But, that seems to be a missed opportunity to do something with detailing there.
Maybe that's where the big Autobot symbol goes.
Maybe. But, so, it looks good. It's got a lot of detail. But like Charles was saying, Siege, Galaxy Force, Optimus Prime, Upgrade, whatever the hell the thing name is, it's really long, is a thing that exists right now. And then there's always the Cybertron or Galaxy Force ones from back in the day that you can get that, sure, they got a lot of pieces, but they look pretty sick when they're all combined up. So,
yep. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on this guy?
Well, I just can't stop thinking after what we were just talking with the Unicron thing. This seems like ripe for the same thing. Just, not as consequential because it's a $50 Hasbro toy, but looking at these pictures side by side, you can see there are some differences, but this is almost exactly the same figure. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the transformation will be different and all that stuff. There's an extra pair of wheels on the front, but this is just very blatant, and I'm wondering if we're going to see this come out at all.
Well, the biggest difference is that the Siege one is already out.
It is, but Siege is their big push right now, and the lawyers are already, hungry. So
true.
I'm wondering if we're going to see a larger crackdown specifically on things like this that are targeting their active line.
Well, I think they can't compete on price, for a mass market toy, that's going to be, half or a third the price of the third party version. So I think Hasbro isn't really concerned in that situation. I think with the Unicron figure, the Unicron were going to be comparable in price, at least in the same ballpark, even if it, maybe the Zeta Toys one was even be competitive, less than the Unicron. So I think here it's a different situation where
but this isn't a company that's remaking a G1 character that Hasbro hasn't made in years, or this is a company that's making a figure that looks almost exactly like a figure that they have in their main line right now. That's the biggest difference I'm seeing, but and the biggest similarity to the Unicron thing. We haven't really seen a lot of this going on where, there's always an Optimus Prime out, and you see the masterpiece, like third-party masterpiece Optimus Prime figures, but this one, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if this one suddenly disappears. It's just my speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Would we even notice with Transform and Roll Out?
Probably not. Being their second figure,
yeah.
The figure itself looks great. Mm-hmm. Looks very clean. There's no paint splotches all over it, so that's good. But I don't know. I mean, seeing the Hasbro version, I'm like, I'll spend $50.
Yep. All right. I have one more third-party tidbit here. So we've got a picture of what are the Terrorcons? The Terrorcons from TFC Toys. It's been a little bit of a while, but they've got some new images of their Sinnertwin version, which they're calling S01 Astaroth. So their Abominus, the Terrorcons, they're calling it Satan. So I think Astaroth is a demon. So I think you're going to get demon names that all combine to form Satan for the Terrorcons here. But Sinnertwin is the two-headed monster that is not hunger. And he's orange also. He looks pretty good. I mean, it's very nice detail. I think these are masterpiece scaled. Yeah, I mean, if you're into the Terrorcons, here he is. Check him out. Jeremy, any love for the Terrorcons?
I mean, not particularly. I mean, I will say this figure looks good. But does that shield he's holding kind of remind you of Battle Cat's, like, part of its armor?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that was like my first thought when I saw. I'm sure it goes on to the combiner as something, but it just looked like he was using like part of Battle Cat's armor as a shield.
Yeah, I think it's his foot. I think it's the combiner foot.
Okay. Oh yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's that same color.
Yeah, that's what I thought too when I first saw it.
But yeah, it looks good.
Sinnertwin murdered Battle Cat and used his armor for a shield.
Yeah, there's a fanfic. I will say that there's great use of the Diablo font on these images.
Yep. Daryl, what about you?
I like these guys. They're fun. I mean, the color palette's nuts, and it's just like Abominus is a crazy freaking combiner. So if it looks good, it can look really good, but TFC has been one of those TFC has been one of those companies that can really just knock it out of the park. Like their last couple of combiners have been really quite good, but then again there's the couple that came before them, and I'm trying to remember the names of them that were just horrendous. They did a Hound figure that was absolutely atrocious. But then again, they came back and they did like the Seacons, and they're all gorgeous. So you don't know which designer is in this, designing these guys. So far it looks like it's the Seacons, which is gorgeous. So we'll see. But with TFC, I gotta say, you gotta wait until everything's shown combined, because the combination and the way it all looks together is really going to be the key, especially for me. But it's TFC they're the grandpappy of third party. They made Hercules at the start, and it's kind of been a roller coaster ride for them, and thankfully they've been on an upswing with the last few. I just hope they're still going up. So this first one looks good though. So let's see the next one.
All right. Well, those are my toy topics. So we will end the toy segment here, and let's move on to some trips to the store. This is where we show off all the awesome Transformers merchandise we bought this week. This is a video segment that we do on YouTube, so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition. But we also have the audio right here in the show, so you can keep listening and listen to us describe everything in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
Let's talk about the stuff we got this week. And we're going to start it off with Jeremy. What do you got?
I am wearing one of the things I got from the aforementioned TeePublic store. In advance of New York Comic Con, I figured I should get some updated shirts. I have the t-shirt that Daryl is wearing, only mine is the first version that does not have, I guess yours doesn't have the logo either. the bad guy logo.
Yours has the logo.
No, my T-shirt does not.
No, my T-shirt doesn't have
Right.
it. Your shirt has it.
This is a sweatshirt. So I'm saying I wanted to get some with the logo.
Yours has it. Mine doesn't have it. See?
Okay.
Who's on first?
Doesn't.
What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Anyway. So this is the first sweatshirt or hoodie that I've gotten from TeePublic, and I gotta say I'm very happy. It's very comfy, very, very soft. I also got a long sleeve T-shirt that I'll probably hold till next week so I can have something. But also I wanted to compare it. This is what we had from our previous vendor. This is a very thin hoodie. The quality is not nearly as good. The strings are, I don't know. It just, when I think of a hoodie, I think of this one. And so it's much better. I cannot be more happy with TeePublic and both the service that we have gotten from them as creators, but also the merch. It's pretty good. Anyway, the other thing I have is I got the Transformers Ghostbusters number 4. This is what Dan Schoening is the artist, and the connecting covers. So,
did you pull a shelter?
I did not. This is all I got. So I hadn't been to the comic shop in a couple weeks, so this is just what was in my pull list among other non-Transformer books. So that is all I got this week.
All right, let's move it over to Daryl. What do you got?
Well, I have only got one thing this week, and one thing that I wouldn't usually buy a figure like this, but it's from RID 2001.
Yes,
but it's a really weird looking figure, and I'm always up for strange and unusual. So this is Megatron Megabolt.
Yeah, that's me.
This is the craziest figure, probably out of that whole line, and it's awesome. So yeah, it transforms into a robot that looks, I don't know, it's supposed to be Megatron.
It has nothing to do with
I don't
2001
see it,
show. It's
but yeah,
hangover
it's
from Beast War or Beastman's.
Yeah,
Beast Machines.
exactly.
Yep.
So it's just a fun looking thing. It's a giant head with crab legs. Yeah, it's just a kooky transformer, and I think it's awesome. And the mouth opens. There's a missile inside there. It's supposed to. It's got a track on the bottom, so if you like roll it, the mouth kind of opens and the crab legs move. But it doesn't work real well if you're just kind of rolling the leg. So whatever. But it's cool. I think the robot mode is secondary to this, giant head mode. So
do you have a Geoport Max?
I do not.
Because I'm not sure if I remember right. I'm thinking that it's in scale fit at head for Geo Max.
It looks like it would. So, I have the new Fort Max, but it definitely looks like it would fit. So it's cool. Megatron Megabolt from RID 2001, but really Beast Machines. So that's it. That's all I got.
All right, so I will close out the segment, and I got a comic, Transformers Ghostbusters number 4, the Dan Schoening cover, just like Jeremy. I did not pull a Shelton, so I think maybe it shouldn't be called pulling a Shelton. So that's just me.
You can't change it. It's carved in stone.
But I'm enjoying this series, and we've only got one more issue. You guys reviewed it last week, or no? Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. But yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'd like to see a few more Transformers. Maybe next issue we'll get the whole cast coming out. Yeah. But
still, I think this is a standard for all Transformer comic crossovers now.
Yeah. Also, I have just one more thing. I got a Kremzeek figure that came with a reflector.
What?
3-pack. It was a $70 Kremzeek that came with a free reflector. So, this guy is really cool. This is the HasCon exclusive reflector. HasCon that never happened. this is very okay. It's refractor. It says refractor, but I choose to call it reflector. Come on, Toy Hacks, get us those labels. We need the labels here.
There will be a set.
But yeah, this guy is really nice. I declared my interest in the reflector guys when they were first shown last year, and I was just gonna have to hunt for the 3 guys individually, but when SDCC announced this exclusive, this was the one I wanted. So I got it, and I'm very happy with it.
Solo figures, right? Oh, you did?
No, I didn't. I missed out on them. Yeah, no, I haven't gotten any of them. So my laziness in toy hunting served me well, and I didn't have to double dip for them. So
well, he was offered one at TFCon with me. He was offered one by I think it was Alpha Magnus offered him one, and I had 2 already, and it would have been Charles's first. Yeah. And he's like, "Well, it's going to complete yours. I'll just continue
That's the kind
to
of guy Charles is."
So, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these guys are. I mean, all the accessories too. This the little this turns into little shoulder pads for I guess is this viewfinder the middle guy
piece you look through.
But
that's the lens. It's not the piece you look through.
No, the viewfinder is the piece you look through, but it's on top.
Yeah, so it would go on big viewfinder.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and
you gonna transform them all, Charles?
No, just
the same.
Just the one. Just to show. I just wanted to show the the little how the little, because it's a nice little trick here. These little hooks come out and it attaches to his shoulders, gives him little shoulder pads. And it mimics the how the original G1 toy transformed. So I mean, and the G1 toy you just pulled it out and the shoulders were there, but this guy, it's a little separate piece. There's a lot of accessories with this guy, not just the creme Zeke. I mean, you've got that piece, you've got the little flash bulb piece here, you've got this little like camera edge piece, and of course the tripod for the 3 guns. And
is it worth the $70 US?
I think so. I mean, it is 3 deluxe figures plus creme Zeke. So, I mean, with all the accessories, I think it's worth it.
Cool.
Yeah, so
I'm very stylized box and everything.
Yeah, the box is really nice. I mean, this is you've got the art of the reflector team here. It's all shiny and hollow foil or whatever.
Don't the instructions look like a digital camera instruction?
Yeah. Here's the instructions. So
cool.
Yeah, this is a nice package. So you can see that it's all Yeah, so I'm very happy. This makes up for the terrible reflector I got from that BotCon those BotCon set. I overpaid dearly for that BotCon reflector set. These are much nicer. So yeah, reflector, yay, got him, yay.
Yay. Charles is happy.
And I opened him, let the records reflect that I opened him. I played with him.
I mean, let the record reflect.
Yes. Refract. Let the record refract that I opened them, yes.
And Charles has more toys than Daryl.
It's true.
And the creme Zeke is nice too. He's little, but he's detailed, and he's got the little port he's a blast effect, so you can put him on stuff. So yeah, he's cool.
When you get your Unicron, there's plenty of places you could stick him.
Exactly. All right, well, that's my toy, and so I guess that'll do it for Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and let's finish up the show with some convention news.
All right. First, we have some New York Comic-Con news. The Entertainment Earth website has an article about their New York Comic-Con exclusives, and this notes that while Hotshot is not specifically mentioned, the images do show a reference to the Generation Select Hotshot, which is I believe the Transformers Energon redeco. Is that right, Daryl?
I believe so, yes.
It doesn't look like the Armada Hotshot. And I think it's a redeco of Hound. So if you are going to be at New York Comic Con, that's something to look out for. I will also be looking out for it because I will be at New York Comic Con. And if you are going to be there, let me know. I would love to say hi. And
wait, you're going to be at New York
I'm
Comic
going to be
Con?
at New York Comic Con.
Wow. You've never mentioned that before.
I'm never going to mention it again until next week. So
wait, the New York Comic Con?
Yeah. Not the Empire State Comic Con, the New York Comic Con. Yeah.
Wow.
The one with the horrible website. But there's a convention I will not be at because it's in the UK. Sunday, 20th October, to use their date format. Rollout Roll Call is returning. This is at Fordingbridge Town Hall, SP61AS. This is a Transformers and G.I. Joe / Action Force show in the UK. And I think it's been, I don't know if they've done one at least last year, or if they did, I think we might have missed it. But it's coming up in October. If you guys are in the UK and you're going to go, let us know how it went. It's basically a one-day toy show. And also, I guess while we're here, we should also mention Retcon 2019, which is going to be September 28th. So that's just coming up in Borås, Sweden. It's the Nordic Transformers Convention. And I know we got some listeners over there too. So, so lots of conventions coming up, including New York Comic Con, Daryl.
The one in New York?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's all the convention news we got. I'm sure we'll have some more next week, including New York Comic Con.
All right. Jeremy, I think you forgot to mention New York Comic Con.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
It's not until, October 3rd through 6th.
Wait, that's the date of NYCC.
You'd almost think it's the same show, Daryl.
Amazing.
All right, I think that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions. We're all clearly tired.
And a little punch drunk.
Wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.